My name is Michael Halen, and I was looking for a referral for an attorney after we had moved here from California to Kansas because I needed to update some documents. Well, I was looking for an estate attorney to review what I had already executed in California and tell me what needed to be changed or updated or added to for my husband and I once we moved from California to Kansas in a different jurisdiction. They found me two or three or four attorneys that did that kind of work. I'm retired now, and I knew other people that did this kind of work, but they're all retired too. So I really didn't have a good referral source, and that's what they helped me do. I think I was just doing a Google search for will and estate attorney, and I think the Google match probably popped up in the browser. Well, a couple of things. The first thing is he responded like right away, within minutes, I think, of me posting what I was looking for. The second thing was that he was just will and estate and powers of attorney thing. He quoted fixed rates for that kind of work, which is what I was looking for. And so it was very responsive, and it was the kind of payment that I was interested in doing. And I had a couple of others reply, but it was after the fact and with different kinds of hourly rates and things of that nature. But no, and I just like the demeanor of the response. The thing I probably liked best about my attorney was he's well experienced in this type of estate law. He was well versed on what was transferable from California to Kansas. He was comfortable with our same-sex marriage, and he was friendly. It was great. And he has an assistant that does a lot of the work for him, but he was very upfront, very straightforward, and didn't try to, he sold me exactly what I needed and advised me what I did not need. Well, I'm done already. That's probably the thing I like best. Second best is that it was a very reasonable cost. I thought I was looking at several thousands of dollars and having to redo everything. And it was much more reasonable, much more time. The number of things that only one thing had to be changed, and we had to add a couple of things. So it was very straightforward. And the attorney actually came out here from Topeka, which is about an hour's drive. He came out here for signing a couple of weeks ago. So it was just great. The other attorneys, when I wrote back and forth and I said that I was interested in a fixed rate, and then they kind of backpedaled and said, well, we'll do that too. And I said, well, that's too late. Somebody else was already upfront about that in the beginning. So it was very timely. It was far more cost effective than I expected. And I feel like I've got a trusted relationship now with somebody I have actually met in person going forward. I would tell them to be clear about what they're looking for, and as much as they can be. Estate law is fairly straightforward. It's documentation. But other types of law, whether they're family law or criminal law or landlord-tenant real estate kinds of things, there are so many different nuances and so many different permeations that I would advise them, first of all, to, before they even start, is be clear on what you're looking for. Maybe do some research with other people that you know, other contacts, about common practices. If you've never used an attorney before, it's helpful to know what is a common practice. And you can do that with searches and things like that. But I think being prepared and being candid and get a sense of the person. I would very strongly, maybe it's because of a generational thing, I don't know, but I would very strongly recommend that people have a phone conversation with whomever they're considering hiring, whether it's one or more that they're considering. I would have a phone conversation, engage from the phone conversation. How do you feel about their competency, about their trustworthiness, about their timeliness, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But, knowing what you're looking for, having a realistic expectation of what you're going to spend, and being able to compare. I think those are the things that I would suggest to people, because depending on what you're looking for, you might get a wide range of respondents. And so you have to be quick. You can't just be goofing around. I mean, my experience with Legal Match is that it's serious, not in a grave sort of way, but I mean, the attorneys and their associates that are responding, they're responding. They expect to hear back from you. So be ready to actually respond when you hear, and don't be surprised if you do hear, like, very quickly.